In this video, I'm going to show you 5 more advanced strategies that top Polymarket traders are using to print consistent profits. Strategies most people have never even heard of. By the end of this video, you'll have a complete arsenal of strategies that separate professional traders from retail gamblers. So stick around because I'm going to show you real examples of each strategy and exactly how you can start using them today. Let's get into it. And by the way, if you're generating serious volume on Polymarket, you can unlock massive bounties up to $1,000 after generating just $1 million in revenue. That's on top of the $10 referral bonus when your referral makes their first deposit. Link is down below. All right, let's jump straight into the first strategy. I call this one positive EV grinding. Some events have a 90 or 95% chance of one outcome happening, but the market still prices them at 75 or 80% because retail traders can't resist the dream of a 10 times underdog payout. This is where pure math prints money. The strategy is simple. You buy the highly likely outcome at a discount, ride it back toward fair value, or just hold it until it resolves. These aren't flashy trades. They won't buy you a Lambo today, but they quietly compound into real money. Think of it like buying safe bonds that pay 5 to 10% returns consistently. Here's a perfect example. On January 12th, the market for Jerome Powell out as Fed chair was yes, shares were trading at around 7.7%. This means that no shares this time is around 92.3 cents per no shares. By March 4th, the exchange slides to 1.2% and no shares is up to around 98.8 cents. That's a clean 6.6 point gain, almost 7% profit in over 7 weeks for something that was basically already guaranteed to happen. The key here is finding markets where the outcome is almost certain, but the market is still pricing in some doubt because retail loves betting on chaos. You're not looking for 100 times returns here. You're looking for consistent 5 to 15% gains that compound over time. Here's how you find these opportunities. Look for markets with very high probability outcomes. Things like will X remain in office or will Y happen by some distant date. Check if the market is pricing it below 90 cents when it should be at 95 to 98 cents. Buy the underpriced side and hold until resolution or until it reprices closer to fair value. This is pure math. You're grinding out consistent positive expected value trades. Strategy number 2 is all about breaking media narratives and trading reality. In geopolitics and elections, the biggest edge comes from seeing reality earlier and more accurately than the crowd. Western media either misreads or pushes certain narratives that don't match what's actually happening on the ground, creating massive mispricings on Polymarket. Here's how this works. If you speak the local language, follow regional influencers, or understand cultural sentiment, you immediately see when global traders are betting on the wrong narrative. That alone becomes a repeatable edge, but you can take it even further with ground-up fundamental analysis. Instead of trusting headlines, you rebuild the situation from verified facts, troop locations, frontline maps, satellite imagery, local leaks, historical patterns. For example, with the Russia-Ukraine conflict. That often means monitoring independent Telegram channels that publish real movements and footage long before major outlets adjust their story. Once you have the facts, you model the next few months. When markets spike on hype, a speech, a rumor, a vague sources say update, but nothing changes on the ground or in local sentiment, you fade it. You're not trading narratives, you're trading reality while everyone else reacts to noise. Let me show you an example. Let's say there's a market asking, will Russia capture a specific city by this date? Western media might be hyping up Russian advances, causing yes to spike to 66%. But if you're following local Telegram channels and satellite imagery, and you see that Russian forces are actually stalled 50 kilometers away with no supply lines, you buy no at 51 cents and wait for the market to realize The media narrative was wrong. When the deadline passes and the city hasn't been captured, you claim your profit. This strategy requires more work, but the edge is massive because most traders just read headlines and panic trade. Strategy number 3 sounds funny, but it's real alpha. I call this girlfriend poll alpha. Reality TV, Taylor Swift pregnancy rumors, surprise album drops, Kanye West drama. These pop culture markets are consistently mispriced because male traders think they understand what's happening, but they don't. Your girlfriend and your female friends do. Here's the strategy. You poll 5 to 10 of them with simple questions. Do you think Taylor drops an album next month? Does this Swift pregnancy rumor feel real? Is Kanye West actually getting arrested this week, or is it just internet noise? Their aggregate intuition is often more accurate than any model because they consume this ecosystem daily. They understand the emotional cycles, the fan behavior, and the drama beats. Let me give you a real example. There was a market asking, will Taylor Swift announce a pregnancy by end of year? Yes was trading at 37 cents because male traders saw some Twitter rumors and thought it was possible. But if you asked 10 women who follow Taylor Swift closely, 9 out of 10 would tell you it's complete nonsense based on her tour schedule, recent interviews, and relationship timeline. You buy no at 64 cents and collect easy money when it resolves. This works because pop culture markets are driven by hype and speculation, not data. The people who actually understand these ecosystems, mostly women, aren't the ones trading on Polymarket. You're bridging that information gap and profiting from it. So next time you see a pop culture market, don't guess. Ask someone who actually knows. Strategy number 4 is simple but powerful. Mention markets always default to no. Mention markets are addictive traps for retail traders. Every week someone thinks presidents will mention crypto in a speech. Most likely, he won't. Every week someone thinks CEO will name a competitor on stage, and mostly they won't. Here's why this works. Low duration, mention markets heavily overpriced. Yes, because it's exciting. Retail loves the idea of a 5 times or 10 times payout if the person just says one word. But the reality is most speakers stick to their scripts. They don't randomly mention things unless there's a very specific reason. Your default position should always be no, unless there's a long history of similar mentions in past speeches. The speaker is a known yapper who goes off script constantly. The word or topic fits perfectly into the expected narrative of the speech. Otherwise, you fade everything else. Let me show you an example. There's a market asking, what will Trump say in March? Drill baby drill, yes, is trading at 76 cents. Now here's the thing, even though Trump has used this phrase before, you need to look at the specific context of the event. If this is a formal policy speech, a diplomatic meeting, or a scripted address, the chances of him using a casual catchphrase like drill baby drill drop significantly. Trump might talk about energy policy, oil production, and American energy independence, but he won't necessarily use that exact phrase unless it's a rally or campaign style event. You can check the president's roll call where you can see the president's public schedule, so even at 76 cents, yes, might be overpriced because retail traders are betting on excitement and past behavior without considering the context. You buy no at 37 cents and collect when the speech ends without that specific phrase being said. The key is, don't get caught up in the hype. Most mentioned markets are just retail gambling on excitement. Context matters. Even if someone has said something before, it doesn't mean they'll say it again in every situation. You're the house and you're betting against the gamblers who don't think about context. Strategy number 5 is advanced, but it's incredibly profitable if you understand it. I call this partial resolution advocacy. Some Polymarket markets don't fail because the event is unclear. They fail because the rules are unclear. This becomes rule fights, and if you see them coming, you can profit even when the event goes against you. Here's how this works. Let's say there's a market asking, will Elon Musk announce presidential run before 2027? Now, the word announce is incredibly vague here. Does it mean a formal campaign announcement with FEC filings, a tweet saying, "I'm running for president," a joke on a podcast, a reply to someone asking if he'd run. Here's where it gets even more complicated. Elon Musk wasn't born in the United States, so he's constitutionally ineligible to run for president. But what if he tweets, "I'm running for president," as a joke or a political statement, even though he legally can't? Half the traders will argue that counts as an announcement. The other half will say it doesn't count because he's ineligible and it's clearly not serious. The debate drags on and results in a partial resolution, maybe 30-70 or 40-60, depending on how the committee interprets announce. If you had bought yes at 10-20 cents, anticipating this ambiguity, partial credit turns a mediocre position into a clean profit. Even if Elon makes some kind of statement that could be interpreted as an announcement, you still profit because you bought in low enough that the partial resolution pays you. So here's the strategy: spot vague terms in market rules. Words like announce, confirm, official, declare. Look for markets where the event itself has built-in ambiguity, like someone who's ineligible announcing a run. Buy early at 10-30 cents when you anticipate ambiguity. When the rule fight starts, push for partial settlement in the comments or Discord. You're not predicting the event, you're predicting the argument. This is advanced, but if you master it, you can profit even when the outcome is unclear. I'm also going to be releasing part 3 of this series with even more advanced strategies, so make sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss it. And if you want to automate your copy trading and follow the whales, check out TradeFox. It's the only tool I use for copy trading on Polymarket. Link is in the description. If you found this video helpful, leave a like below. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments and I will answer every single one. And if you missed part 1 of this series, check the video popping on screen right now. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.